Okay, I swear anytime I'm just minding my black business over on TikTok, the algorithm sends me a controversial video to talk to you guys about. Imagine having everything that you've ever known turned completely upside down. Your job, gone. And your home, forget about it. And imagine that the same entity that is the reason behind everything you've ever known being turned upside down is now in your space. Comfortable, right? But they want to change some things. They want to change it to the way that they like it. And now that perfect home that you had is no longer perfect because one, you ain't in it. Okay, let's keep it a buck. And two, the things that you loved about that home, that job, it's no longer the same because now it's tailored to the likings of a different entity. I know, it sounds crazy, but believe it or not, people are being victims of cultural appropriation on the daily, man. But the use of AI is making it better, I think. I don't know. That's what we're going to discuss in today's video because that's what the internet seems to think anyway. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, first of all, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I make a lot of good videos like this and I promise you will not be disappointed, okay? Stay a while. And while you're at it, you might as well go ahead and hit that notification bell as well so that you can be notified of my future uploads. I already told you guys that I am uploading 3 videos this week, so you definitely want to make sure that you have those notifications turned on so that you know when those videos drop. Now, my name is Tandy. Let's get into it. Okay, I had to put my hair up because it was getting a little hot underneath all these lights, okay? Okay, I swear anytime I'm just minding my black business over on TikTok, the algorithm sends me a controversial video to talk to you guys about. Like, I just be minding my business. And then I find a video and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta talk to y'all about it. So here we are. Because I gotta have this conversation with somebody. It's just me and 4 walls in a room. Why not it be you? Okay, so the clip that I came across today is a clip from Kiki Palmer's podcast. This is Kiki Palmer. Let's take a look.
Cultural appropriation is always wrong, but the gag is
AI is cultural appropriation, but it's happening to white people now.
Oh, the AI is coming fast.
I tell you, couldn't get a white person to hold a real conversation about cultural appropriation, but now TikTok is littered with them because they're realizing what it means, what the implication is. Yes, now your work can just be sucked into a machine and taken away from you and make money for other people. So that's what the end game's been, y'all. And we've had to fight against this since time immemorial. So if you're looking for strategies, you know, look to Black history.
Oh, girl, I had to fix your wig there for a minute. You got a little snatch there. No, but for real, like, what do you do after taking in that kind of information? Because you really have to let that one sit there and marinate so that you can think, do I agree? Do I disagree? Do I have any opinion on it? And while you're letting those thoughts marinate in your brain, you of course go to the comments, right? Because that's where all the fun is. And listen, the comments definitely did not disappoint. Pizza Smoothie says, John says, I love this perspective. What a fascinating pattern and nuance that you have identified. I can agree that this is a fascinating perspective, but in order to truly identify the validity of this nuance that's been identified, you really got to dive into what exactly is cultural appropriation. And to do that, I definitely recommend checking out a previous video that I did from a segment on my channel called Makeup and Politics, where we talked about cultural appropriation versus appreciation. So check that one out and then come back to this video because you need to understand the difference and identify if what AI is doing is truly appropriation. But if you go through the comments underneath this TikTok video that we just watched, a lot of people are agreeing and identifying the moment when they understood what exactly cultural appropriation is. John the One says, I actually have used this as an example when explaining cultural appropriation for a while. And before AI, I'd use using their image without consent. Then Laha says, the first time I feel like I really understood cultural appropriation was when my little sister tried to mansplain 90s fashion to me. I know it's not really the same thing, but it definitely got my wheels going. Well, you know what, Laha, I love that for you, because as long as you understood what was needed to be understood, I guess is what matters. Shout out to you though for at least being self-aware.
Of course, not everyone agrees with this take in the comments though. One user says, it's not cultural appropriation though, it's plagiarism. And white people aren't the only ones affected by AI art. His take is understandable at its core, but it's worded quite clumsily. There are better conversations to be had about AI art. And I like this comment because AI is definitely guilty of plagiarism, for sure. But Reva Sharpbait says, I disagree. I think a lot of the people that cared about cultural appropriation are the same people that care about AI. Similarly, a lot of people who don't care about cultural appropriation are the same people who will use AI to exploit artists.
There is most certainly nuance in this conversation though. So much so that people were not just commenting on this clip, they actually stitched it too.
It's always wrong, but the gag is
AI is cultural appropriation, but it's happening to white people now.
Several years ago, Adult Swim put on this TV special, a two-part TV special, and the second part of it was called Dinner in America with Brett Gelman. And one of the actors in the special was Joe Morton. A lot of you know him from Scandal as Olivia Pope's father. And in the character he was portraying, he gives this brilliant and very striking, profound monologue talking about systemic racism from the perspective of an African American in the 21st century. And he calls white people a virus, and he proceeds to explain all the horrors that white supremacy and colonialism have levied against all kinds of marginalized people, but particularly black people in America. And the line that I'll never forget at the end of the monologue goes something like, "It's not your fault. It's the only way you know how to be. And the only thing that is going to change anything is if another virus comes along and does to you what you all have done to us. And I hope that happens soon." And I'm looking at this AI situation and how white actors and white writers are losing their minds, hence why we had such a furious debate with the recent SAG-AFTRA strikes and negotiations. And then I'm looking at black actors and other actors who identify as racially marginalized who are looking at this and thinking to themselves, without speaking for them, but surely thinking to themselves, y'all have been doing this since ever to our communities and our people. The history of this country is the simultaneous oppression and cultural appropriation of our work, oftentimes under pain of suffering, oftentimes under pain of death. And so now, almost being the architects of their own demise, this great technology that they thought was going to be the next step in digital evolution is coming back to haunt them.
Now this person is really slow to speak, but I think the nuance in this conversation is the fact that we're equating whiteness to like the writer's strike, as if there are no black writers, as if there are no black people in that sector of media. I do understand that the odds are not in black people or minorities' favor, but oh my God, I think I just had an epiphany. Is this a white job? You know how they talk about like black jobs?
They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Is copywriting a white job? Or did I just figure out what 1 + 1 is? I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with this video though, that palm-colored folks are actually understanding the ramifications of cultural appropriation, because I don't think that copywriting is, or script writing, I don't think that is white culture. Or is it? I guess it is. I mean, like, white people got like Shakespeare and shit like that, so maybe it is. Maybe that's like white culture. I know a lot of times people be having discourse about the fact that white people don't have culture, but I think they do. It's just their own, but very different. I don't agree with this video. Let me not say I don't agree, because it's not up to me to agree or disagree with this video. I think that the conversation is interesting, and I posed a question to you guys. What do you think? How do you feel about this topic of discussion? Do you think that there is some correlation between cultural appropriation and the use of AI in media spaces? Comment down below. Somebody by the name of S-Trey made a comment under this video that I want to leave with you before we go. They said, art cannot be appropriated, only reinterpreted. AI has no real process and cannot be judged as such. I feel like AI does have a process. I don't know the process, but it processes itself. Does that not mean it has a process if it is the process? I don't know. This video is giving me a headache already. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you definitely a real one, and I appreciate you. We locked in, twin. That's why I can't imagine why you haven't subscribed already. I mean, you made it all the way to the end of this video and you have not subscribed? That's crazy. It's actually quite insane, and I'm concerned. But it's okay. You can go ahead and change that by clicking that subscribe button. And if you're feeling real generous, go ahead and turn on that post notification bell as well, so that you can be notified of my future videos. As I said in the beginning of this video, I'm dropping 3 of them this week. 3 videos. You don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.